Capricorn, the week your effort gets recognized. This is the week where everything you have been quietly building behind the scenes finally steps into the light, and the people around you will not be able to ignore it any longer. If you are a Capricorn or you have strong Capricorn energy in your chart, what is coming toward you this week is not luck. It is the direct result of discipline, patience, and a refusal to give up when things got difficult. You stayed the course. You kept going when others would have stopped. And now the energy is shifting in your favor in a way that is deeply deserved. This week carries a frequency of recognition, not the flashy kind that fades by tomorrow, the real kind, the kind that changes how people see you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. Whether it shows up in your career, your personal life, or simply in how others treat you with new respect, the message is the same. Your effort has been counted, your consistency has been measured, and the return is arriving. But here is the part most people miss. Recognition is not the finish line. It is a doorway, and what you do with this moment matters more than the moment itself. So stay with me through every single tip in this message, because what I am about to share will help you not only receive this energy, but multiply it in ways you have not yet imagined. Tip 1. Your foundation is stronger than you think, and this week proves it. There is something about you, Capricorn, that most people do not fully understand until they have spent a long time watching you operate. You build slowly, you build carefully, and you build to last. While others are chasing trends and jumping from one thing to the next, you have been laying bricks. Day after day, week after week, sometimes month after month, with very little visible progress to show for it. And that is exactly what makes this week so powerful. Because the foundation you built during those quiet, unglamorous seasons is now strong enough to hold the weight of something extraordinary. Think about what you have been through over the past several months. Think about the mornings when you did not feel like getting up, but you did it anyway. Think about the conversations where you held your tongue instead of reacting. Think about the plans you made that nobody believed in, the goals you set that felt impossibly far away, the commitments you honored even when nobody was watching. All of that was construction. All of that was preparation. And now this week, you are going to start seeing the structure rise above the ground. The energy surrounding you right now is one of solidity. You are not shaky. You are not guessing. You are not hoping for the best and bracing for the worst. You are standing on something real. And the people around you are beginning to feel it too. They may not say it out loud yet, but they can sense it. There is a steadiness in you that commands a certain kind of respect. The kind that cannot be faked and cannot be rushed. What I want you to understand is that this foundation did not appear overnight, and neither will the recognition that comes from it. But this week marks a turning point. The seeds you planted are breaking through the surface. The walls you built are standing tall, and the blueprint you followed, even when nobody else could see it, is starting to reveal its full design. Do not underestimate how rare this is. Most people abandon their foundations before they ever get to see what could have been built on top of them. They get impatient. They get distracted. They start over with something new before finishing what they started. But you did not do that. You stayed. You endured. And because of that, what you have now is not fragile. It is not temporary. It is not something that can be knocked down by the first strong wind that comes along. This week, I want you to take a quiet moment and acknowledge what you have built. Not in a boastful way, not to prove anything to anyone, but simply to let yourself feel the weight and the worth of your own effort. You earned this, every single piece of it, and the recognition that is coming your way is not charity. It is payment. It is the universe catching up to what you already knew deep down, that your work matters, that your patience was not wasted, and that your foundation is unshakable. Now, as strong as your foundation is, there is another force at work this week that will surprise you, and it has everything to do with how others are about to respond to your presence. Tip 2. The people around you are about to see you differently, and it will change the dynamic. Something shifts this week in the way people perceive you. It is subtle at first. A glance that lingers a little longer. A tone of voice that carries a new kind of respect. A conversation where someone asks for your opinion instead of offering their own. These are small signals, but they point to something much larger. The people in your life are waking up to something you have known about yourself for a long time. That you are not someone to be overlooked. This shift in perception does not happen by accident. It happens because you have been showing up consistently, carrying yourself with integrity, and making decisions that reflect your values rather than your emotions. People notice these things over time, even if they do not acknowledge them right away. And this week, the acknowledgement begins. Not because you asked for it, not because you demanded it, but because your energy has reached a level that simply cannot be ignored. You may notice this shift in your workplace first. A supervisor who suddenly takes your ideas more seriously. A colleague who starts deferring to your judgment on important matters. A project that gets assigned to you because someone finally realized you are the most reliable person for the job. These are not random events. They are reflections of the reputation you have been quietly building through every responsible action, every met deadline, every moment of professionalism that others might have taken for granted. But it does not stop at work. In your personal relationships, you may notice a similar change. A family member who starts treating you with more consideration. A friend who reaches out with a vulnerability they would not have shared with you before. A partner who looks at you with fresh eyes, as if remembering why they chose you in the first place. This is what happens when your inner growth starts radiating outward. People feel it before they can name it. Now here is something important to keep in mind. When people start seeing you differently, it can feel uncomfortable at first. You are used to operating in the background, doing your work without fanfare, and not needing validation to keep going. So when the spotlight suddenly turns in your direction, there can be an urge to step back, to deflect, to downplay what is happening. I want you to resist that urge. This is your moment. Not to be arrogant, not to boast, but to simply stand in the truth of who you are and what you have accomplished. There is a difference between seeking attention and receiving recognition. You did not chase this. It came to you because you earned it. And the worst thing you can do right now is shrink yourself to make other people more comfortable. You have spent enough time being modest. You have spent enough time letting others take the credit. This week, the energy says it is your turn to be seen. Let it happen. Let it land. Let it change the dynamic in a way that serves your growth. And pay attention to who celebrates your recognition and who resists it. Because this shift will also reveal the truth about certain relationships in your life. The people who genuinely care about you will be happy for you. They will lift you up, congratulate you, and feel inspired by your progress. But there may be others who react differently. Others who seem threatened by your rise, who suddenly become distant or critical, who try to minimize what you have achieved. Take note. This information is valuable. It tells you who belongs in your next chapter and who does not. The recognition coming your way this week is not just about feeling good. It is about repositioning yourself in the minds and hearts of the people around you. It is about establishing a new standard for how you are treated, how you are valued, and how you are respected going forward. Accept it fully. You have done the work. Now let the world catch up. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. And speaking of the world catching up, there is a specific area of your life where this recognition is going to show up in a very tangible way. And you need to be ready for it. Tip 3. A financial or material reward is closer than you realize. Let me be very clear about this. The energy this week is not just emotional or relational. It is also deeply practical. There is something tangible heading your way, and it is tied directly to the effort you have invested in your material world. Whether this shows up as a raise, a bonus, a new opportunity for income, a return on an investment, or simply the resolution of a financial situation that has been weighing on you, the message is the same. Your practical efforts are about to pay off in a measurable way. Capricorn, you have always had a natural understanding of value. Not just the kind of value that shows up on a price tag, but the deeper kind. The value of hard work. The value of discipline. The value of showing up and doing what needs to be done day after day without complaint. And this understanding has guided the way you manage your resources, your career, and your financial decisions. You do not gamble with your security. You do not make reckless choices with your money. You plan. You calculate. You protect what you have while steadily working to build more. This week, all of that careful stewardship is being rewarded. And the reward may come from a direction you did not expect. It might not be the thing you have been actively pursuing. It could be a forgotten application that suddenly gets approved. It could be someone offering you a role you did not apply for. It could be a debt being resolved faster than anticipated or a cost being reduced in a way that frees up resources you did not know you had. Stay open. Stay alert. Because the universe has a way of delivering abundance through doors you forgot you left open. But here is the deeper message behind this tip. The financial or material reward coming your way is not just about the money or the thing itself. It is about what it represents. It represents confirmation. Confirmation that your approach to life works. That slow and steady is not outdated. That patience is not passive. That taking care of the details actually matters. In a world that celebrates shortcuts and instant results, your way of doing things sometimes feels like it belongs to another era. But this week proves that your way is timeless. It works. It always has. Now, when this reward arrives, I want you to handle it the way only a Capricorn can. Do not rush to spend it. Do not immediately start thinking about the next thing. Take a moment to appreciate it. Let yourself feel the satisfaction of receiving something you truly earned. Then, when you are ready, think about how to use it wisely. Think about how it can strengthen your foundation even further. Think about how it can create more stability, more security, more breathing room for you and the people you care about. And do not let anyone make you feel guilty for receiving this. You did not take it from someone else. You did not cut corners to get it. You worked for it. You waited for it. And now it is here. Receive it with open hands and a clear conscience. This is not greed. This is harvest. This is the natural result of planting, watering, tending, and protecting your garden through every season. There is another reward waiting for you this week, though, and it is not something you can hold in your hands. It is something far more valuable, and it has to do with how you feel about yourself on the inside. Tip 4. A wave of self-confidence is rising within you, and it is time to let it. For a long time now, you have been carrying a quiet doubt. Maybe you did not call it that. Maybe you framed it as caution or realism or simply being practical. But underneath all of that sensible thinking, there has been a small voice asking, am I really enough? Have I done enough? Will this actually work out the way I am hoping? And this week, Capricorn, that voice begins to go silent. Not because you are ignoring it, but because the evidence is starting to drown it out. Self-confidence, real self-confidence, does not come from affirmations or motivational quotes. It comes from lived experience. It comes from looking back at what you have survived, what you have built, and what you have overcome, and letting those facts speak louder than your fears. This week gives you that opportunity. The recognition you receive from others, the tangible rewards that show up, the shift in how people treat you. All of these things serve as mirrors reflecting back a truth you have been slow to accept. You are capable. You are valuable. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. I know that for many of you, self-confidence has always been a complicated thing. You do not struggle with competence. You know how to get things done. You know how to solve problems, meet obligations, and deliver results. But there is a difference between knowing you can do the work and truly believing you deserve the rewards that come from it. That gap between competence and confidence is something you have carried for a long time. And this week, the gap begins to close. Pay attention to the moments this week when you feel a surge of inner strength. It might happen during a conversation where you speak your truth without hesitation. It might happen when you look in the mirror and actually like what you see. It might happen when someone compliments you and instead of deflecting, you simply say thank you. These are not small moments. These are breakthroughs. These are signs that you are finally stepping into the fullness of who you are. And here is something crucial. This rising confidence is not about becoming someone different. It is about becoming more of who you already are. You are not adding anything new. You are removing the layers of self-doubt, self-criticism, and excessive modesty that have been covering up your true nature. The strong, capable, worthy person you are becoming this week is the same person you have always been underneath. The only difference is that now you are letting yourself be seen. Do not apologize for this confidence. Do not tone it down because someone in your life is not used to seeing you this way. Do not second-guess it or wait for it to be validated by someone else before you trust it. This confidence is yours. You built it. You earned it. And no one else gets to decide whether or not you deserve to feel it. Let me tell you something else. This new level of self-assurance is going to change the way you make decisions going forward. When you truly believe in your own worth, you stop settling for less than you deserve. You stop saying yes to things that drain you. You stop tolerating disrespect. You stop shrinking. And the people around you will adjust accordingly because confidence is magnetic. It draws better opportunities, better relationships, and better outcomes toward you like gravity. This week is not just about feeling good. It is about calibrating your internal compass to match your external reality. You are successful. You are strong. You are resilient. And now, finally, you are starting to believe it in your bones. Let that belief carry you forward into everything that comes next. And what comes next is something particularly exciting because this new confidence is going to open a door you thought was closed. And that door leads to a relationship or connection that will change the way you think about partnership. Tip 5. A relationship is about to deepen in a way that catches you off guard. Whether you are in a committed partnership, navigating a complex family dynamic, or maintaining a friendship that has been tested by time and distance, this week brings a moment of unexpected depth. Someone in your life is going to open up to you in a way they never have before. And in that moment, the entire nature of the relationship is going to shift to a higher level of trust, understanding, and genuine connection. Capricorn, you are not always the easiest sign to get close to, and I say that with the deepest respect. Your walls are not built out of coldness or indifference. They are built out of self-protection. You have learned, sometimes through painful experience, that not everyone deserves access to your inner world. So you are selective. You are cautious. You let people in slowly, one layer at a time, and only when they have proven themselves worthy of your trust. There is nothing wrong with that. It is wise. It is measured. It is very Capricorn. But this week, the universe is asking you to soften those walls just a little. Not to tear them down entirely. Not to become reckless with your vulnerability, but to create an opening, a crack in the armor, through which real connection can flow. Because someone in your life is ready to meet you at a deeper level, and they cannot reach you if you are still behind the full fortress. You will know who this person is when the moment arrives. It might be a conversation that starts casually, and then takes an unexpected turn towards something meaningful. It might be a silence that feels comfortable instead of awkward, where both of you understand what is being communicated without a single word. It might be a gesture, a hand on your shoulder, a look that holds steady. Whatever form it takes, the energy behind it is the same. This person sees you, really sees you, and they are choosing to move closer. Now, your first instinct might be to pull back. That is your pattern. When things get emotionally intense, you retreat into practicality, change the subject, deflect with humor or busyness. But this week, I am asking you to stay. Stay in the moment. Stay in the feeling. Let the connection happen without trying to control it or analyze it. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply be present with another human being and allow the relationship to evolve naturally. This deepening of connection is not a threat to your independence. I know that is one of your core fears, that if you let someone too close, you will lose your autonomy, your space, your freedom to operate on your own terms. But real intimacy does not take those things away. Real intimacy enhances them. When you are truly connected to someone, you do not become less of yourself. You become more. You become more honest, more relaxed, more willing to take risks, more capable of receiving support, more human. And there is another layer to this that I want you to consider. The deepening that happens this week is not just about the other person moving closer to you. It is also about you moving closer to yourself. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you are confronting your own fears, your own patterns, your own resistance to emotional depth. Every time you choose connection over protection, you are growing. Every time you choose openness over control, you are evolving. And that evolution is one of the most important things happening for you this week. Let this relationship moment surprise you. Let it be messy and imperfect and beautifully real. You do not need to have all the answers. You do not need to know where it is leading. You just need to show up, be honest, and let yourself be seen. The rest will take care of itself. But before you can fully embrace this connection, there is something from your past that needs to be addressed. And this next tip explains exactly what that is and why it matters right now. Tip 6. An old wound is ready to be released, and this is the week to let it go. There is something you have been carrying for far too long. A memory, a regret, a grudge, a disappointment that settled into your bones and became part of the way you move through the world. You may have pushed it so deep that you forgot it was there. Or you may think about it every single day. Either way, this week brings a unique energetic window for releasing it. And I do not say that lightly. Capricorn, you are known for your endurance. Your ability to carry heavy loads without complaint is one of your greatest strengths. But it is also one of your greatest vulnerabilities. Because sometimes the load you are carrying is not yours to bear. Sometimes it is a weight you picked up years ago that no longer serves any purpose. And the fact that you can carry it does not mean you should. The wound I am talking about is specific to you. I do not know exactly what it is because only you know your own story. But I can tell you how it shows up. It shows up as a hesitation when you are about to take a bold step forward. It shows up as a tightness in your chest when someone gets too close emotionally. It shows up as a voice in the back of your mind that says you do not deserve good things, or that happiness is temporary, or that people always leave eventually. That voice is not yours. It belongs to the wound, and this week you have the opportunity to separate yourself from it. Letting go does not mean pretending it never happened. It does not mean forgiving someone who hurt you before you are ready. It does not mean forgetting the lesson or ignoring the scar. Letting go means deciding that the pain no longer gets to drive your decisions. It means acknowledging what happened, honoring the way it shaped you, and then gently, firmly choosing to move forward without it. This is not easy work. I am not going to pretend it is. For someone like you who values control and order, emotional release can feel chaotic and uncertain. You like to have a plan, but healing does not follow a schedule. It happens in its own time, and sometimes it catches you off guard. You might be driving or sitting quietly when the tears come. You might be in the middle of a conversation when the realization hits you like a wave. Let it happen. Do not fight it. Do not judge it. Just let it move through you and out of you. What I find remarkable about this energy is that the release is not being forced. It is not coming from external pressure or a crisis. It is coming from within you. Your own soul, your own higher self, your own deepest wisdom is saying it is time. And when the readiness comes from within, the healing tends to be genuine and lasting. This is not a temporary patch. This is a structural repair. After you let this go, you are going to notice something interesting. You are going to feel lighter. Not metaphorically lighter, although that too. Physically lighter. Like something that was pressing down on your shoulders has been removed. Like you can stand a little taller. Breathe a little deeper. Move a little more freely. This is what happens when you put down a weight you were never meant to carry forever. Your body knows the difference, even if your mind takes a little longer to catch up. And here is the beautiful part. The space that opens up when you release this old wound is not empty space. It is fertile space. It is space that can now be filled with new possibilities, new joy, new connections, new growth. You cannot plant new seeds in soil that is already occupied by old roots. This week you are clearing the ground. And what grows there next is going to be magnificent. There is something else happening this week that connects directly to this release, and it involves a decision you have been putting off. One that could change your trajectory entirely. Tip 7. A decision you have been avoiding is now ready to be made. You know exactly what I am talking about. There is something you have been circling for weeks, maybe months. A choice that sits in the back of your mind like an unopened letter on a desk. You know it is there. You know it needs to be addressed. But every time you get close to opening it, something pulls you away. Fear, doubt, timing that never feels quite right. The comfortable familiarity of not deciding. This week, Capricorn, the energy shifts in a way that makes the decision not only possible, but almost inevitable. The information you have been waiting for arrives. The clarity you have been seeking sharpens into focus. The emotional fog that has been clouding your judgment lifts just enough for you to see the path clearly. And when you see it, you will wonder why you waited so long. Let me tell you something about indecision that you may not have considered. When you avoid making a decision, you are still making one. You are choosing to stay where you are. You are choosing the status quo. You are choosing comfort over growth, familiarity over possibility, safety over expansion. And for someone like you, who is built for progress and achievement, staying stuck in indecision is one of the most draining things you can experience. It takes more energy to stay in limbo than it does to pick a direction and commit to it. The decision in front of you may involve your career. It could be about whether to pursue a new direction, accept a new responsibility, or leave something behind that no longer aligns with where you are headed. It may involve a relationship, whether to invest more deeply, set a boundary, or walk away from something that has run its course. It may involve your living situation, your health, your finances, or your personal growth. Whatever it is, the theme is the same. You are being asked to choose the version of your life that matches the person you are becoming, not the person you used to be. And here is what I need you to understand. You already know the answer. You have known it for a while. The hesitation is not because you are confused. It is because you are afraid of what the answer requires. Because the right decision often demands change. It demands courage. It demands letting go of something familiar in order to reach for something better. And that is terrifying even for someone as strong as you. But think about this. Every significant moment of growth in your life came after a decision that scared you. Every breakthrough was preceded by a choice that felt risky at the time but obvious in hindsight. You have done this before. You have stood at the edge, looked down, and jumped. And every single time you were glad you did. This week is no different. The only thing standing between you and the next level of your life is the courage to decide. Do not overthink this. Do not create a spreadsheet of pros and cons that stretches into infinity. Do not poll every person you know for their opinion. This decision is between you and your future self. Ask yourself one question. If I look back on this moment a year from now, which choice will I be proud of? That is your answer. Trust it, act on it, and do not look back. The moment you make this decision, you will feel a release that is similar to the emotional healing we discussed earlier. Because indecision is its own kind of weight, and putting it down feels like freedom. Your mind clears. Your energy returns. Your next steps become obvious. And the momentum that builds from a single courageous choice can carry you further than months of careful planning ever could. Something else is aligning for you this week that will support this decision in the most unexpected way. And it has to do with a message or sign you are about to receive from the universe itself. Tip 8. Pay close attention to signs and synchronicities this week, because the universe is speaking directly to you. This is one of those weeks where the universe drops its subtlety and starts communicating with you in ways that are almost impossible to miss. Numbers that repeat. Songs that play at exactly the right moment. A sentence in a book that answers the exact question you have been asking. A conversation with a stranger that feels like it was arranged by something beyond chance. These are not coincidences, Capricorn. These are confirmations. And this week they are everywhere. You are someone who tends to rely on logic and evidence. You trust what you can see, measure, and verify. And that is one of your greatest assets. But there is another kind of intelligence at work in your life, an intelligence that operates beyond the rational mind. And this week it is turned up to full volume. The universe is trying to get your attention. It is trying to show you that you are on the right path, that your decisions are sound, that your instincts are correct, and that the timing of everything happening right now is not random. The signs might come through numbers. You glance at the clock and it reads the same digits. You see a particular number on a receipt, a license plate, a page number, a street address. The same number appears again and again until it becomes undeniable. This is not your imagination working overtime. This is energetic communication. The universe uses patterns to catch your attention because it knows that a mind like yours, a Capricorn mind, notices patterns. It is speaking your language. The signs might also come through people. Someone says exactly the thing you needed to hear without knowing they are doing it. A conversation takes a turn that directly relates to the question you have been wrestling with. A person from your past resurfaces with a message or an energy that holds meaning for your present situation. When this happens, do not dismiss it as random. Ask yourself what the message is. What is being reflected back to you? What is the universe trying to confirm or reveal? And then there are the feelings. Those moments of sudden knowing that arrive without explanation. You just know something is true without being able to explain why. You feel pulled toward a decision without having all the data to support it. You sense that something is about to change before there is any visible evidence. These intuitive hits are not weakness or wishful thinking. They are information. They are your deeper self communicating through the only channel that bypasses your analytical mind. This week, I want you to keep a mental note of every sign, every synchronicity, every moment of unexplained knowing. Do not judge them. Do not rationalize them away. Simply notice them and let them accumulate. By the end of the week, you will have a body of evidence that even your logical mind cannot deny. The universe is not just supporting you right now, it is actively guiding you. And the more you pay attention, the clearer the guidance becomes. There is something especially important about the timing of these signs. They are arriving during a week of recognition, reward, and deepening connections. That is not a coincidence either. The universe is confirming that all of these things are connected, that they are part of a larger pattern, a larger plan, a larger unfolding that you may not fully understand yet, but that you can absolutely trust. Capricorn, you were born under a sign that values evidence and proof. So consider this your proof. The signs are here. The synchronicities are stacking up. The universe is not whispering anymore. It is speaking clearly, directly, and unmistakably. All you have to do is listen. And what you hear might just change the way you approach the rest of this year, especially when it comes to the next tip, which addresses something you have been neglecting for far too long. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Tip 9. Your body is asking for your attention, and this week you need to listen. I know this might not be the most exciting tip in this reading, but it may be the most important one. Because everything we have talked about so far, the recognition, the rewards, the relationships, the decisions, the signs, none of it matters if you are running on empty. And Capricorn, there is a strong possibility that you have been pushing your body harder than it can sustain without eventually paying the price. You are the workhorse of the zodiac. That is not an insult. It is an acknowledgement of your incredible capacity for effort. You can work longer hours, endure more discomfort, and push through more fatigue than almost any other sign. And you do it without complaining. You do it because it is who you are. But this week, your body is sending you a message, and the message is simple. Slow down. Not stop. Not quit. Just slow down enough to check in with the vehicle that carries you through everything. Think about what you have been doing to your body lately. The meals you have been skipping or rushing through. The sleep you have been sacrificing for productivity. The tension you have been holding in your shoulders, your jaw, your lower back. The aches you have been ignoring because you convinced yourself they would go away on their own. The walks you stopped taking. The water you have not been drinking enough of. The moments of rest you traded for more time at your desk or more hours of output. Your body is not a machine, Capricorn. It is the most sacred instrument you will ever own. And it has been carrying you faithfully through every challenge, every triumph, and every ordinary day in between. It deserves your care. It deserves your gratitude. And it deserves your attention. Especially this week when the energy around you is heightened and your capacity to receive good things depends on your physical ability to hold them. This is not about making dramatic changes or starting an intense new program. This is about returning to the basics. Drink water. Real water, not just coffee and tea. Eat meals that nourish you instead of just filling you up. Go to sleep at a reasonable hour, even if there are things left undone. Take a walk outside, not to get somewhere, just to move and breathe and feel the air on your skin. Stretch your body. Release the tension you have been storing in your muscles. And here is something you probably do not want to hear but need to. If there is a health concern you have been putting off, whether it is a doctor visit, a test, a conversation about symptoms, or simply an honest assessment of how you are feeling, this is the week to address it. Not next week, not next month. This week, the energy supports it. The timing is right. And whatever you discover will be better dealt with now than ignored until it becomes something larger. Your body is your partner in everything you do. It shows up for you every single day without fail. It breathes for you while you sleep. It heals itself when you are injured. It carries the stress you pile onto it without complaint. The least you can do is listen when it speaks. And this week it is speaking. Maybe through fatigue, maybe through tension, maybe through a craving for something specific. Whatever the message is, honor it. Take care of this body that has taken care of you through everything. When your body feels strong and supported, everything else in your life works better. Your mind is sharper. Your emotions are more stable. Your energy is more sustained. Your confidence is more grounded. Taking care of your physical self is not selfish. It is strategic. It is the most Capricorn thing you can do. Investing in your most valuable asset. There is one more area of your life that is being activated this week, and it might be the most transformative of all. because it has to do with your sense of purpose and the legacy you are building. Tip 10. This week marks the beginning of a new chapter in your legacy, and it starts with a single shift in perspective. Everything we have discussed in this reading, every tip, every insight, every piece of energy moving through your life this week, it all converges on this final point. You are not just having a good week. You are standing at the threshold of a new chapter, and the difference between a chapter that merely continues the story and one that transforms it comes down to perspective. How you see yourself, how you see your purpose, and how you see the impact your life has on the world around you. Capricorn, you have always been someone who thinks about legacy, not in a grandiose way, not in terms of statues and monuments, but in the quiet, practical way that defines your nature. You want your work to outlast you. You want the things you build to matter beyond your own lifetime. You want the people you love to be better off because you were in their lives. This is the Capricorn drive at its purest. The desire to create something enduring, something meaningful, something that stands the test of time. This week offers you a perspective shift that can redefine what legacy means to you. Because up until now, you may have been thinking about legacy in terms of external achievements. The career you built, the money you saved, the house you bought, the title you earned, and those things matter. They absolutely do. But the legacy that runs deepest, the one that truly endures, is not about what you did. It is about how you made people feel. Think about the people who left the biggest mark on your own life. Were they the most successful? The wealthiest? The most accomplished? Probably not. They were the ones who made you feel seen. The ones who believed in you before you believed in yourself. The ones who showed up when you needed them and asked nothing in return. The ones who taught you by example what it means to live with integrity and compassion. That is the legacy that matters. And that is the legacy you are building every single day, whether you realize it or not. This week, I want you to shift your perspective from doing to being. Not permanently. You are a Capricorn after all, and doing is in your blood. But just for this week, allow yourself to consider the possibility that your greatest contribution to the world is not what you produce but who you are. The steady presence you provide, the reliability people count on, the quiet strength that anchors everyone around you, the wisdom you share not through lectures but through the way you live your life. These are the things people will remember. These are the things that will echo long after the projects are completed and the titles are forgotten. And here is the shift in perspective that ties everything together. You do not have to earn your place in the world. You already have it. You do not have to prove your worth through endless work and sacrifice. Your worth is inherent. It was there before your first achievement and it will be there after your last. The recognition coming your way this week is not the universe telling you that you are finally good enough. It is the universe reminding you that you always were. When you internalize that truth, something profound happens. You stop working from a place of fear and start working from a place of purpose. You stop trying to prove yourself and start expressing yourself. You stop building walls and start building bridges. You stop surviving and start thriving. And the legacy you leave behind is not a monument to your ambition, but a testament to your humanity. This is your week, Capricorn. Not because the stars are aligned in your favor, although they are. Not because the universe has chosen to reward you, although it has. But because you have arrived at a moment where everything you have been, everything you have done, and everything you are becoming converges into a single undeniable truth. You matter. Your effort matters. Your presence matters. And the world is finally ready to recognize what you have known all along. You have walked through fire to get here. You have endured seasons of silence, seasons of struggle, seasons where nobody clapped and nobody noticed and nobody cared. But you kept going. You kept building. You kept believing even when belief felt foolish. And now, the harvest arrives, not as a reward for perfection, but as a reflection of persistence. Every setback you absorbed, every morning you chose to try again. It all counted. The universe is holding up a mirror this week that says, look at what you have become. Do not rush past this moment. For once in your life, stand at the summit and look at the view. Let yourself feel proud. Let yourself feel grateful. Let yourself feel the warmth of a world that is finally seeing you the way you deserve to be seen. You have earned every single second of this recognition, and no one can take that away from you. Carry this energy forward, not just this week but into every week that follows. Let the confidence that rises in you now become a permanent part of how you move through the world. Let the connections that deepen become the foundation of relationships that sustain you for years to come. Let the signs you witness remind you that you are never truly alone, that something greater is always working on your behalf, even in the moments when you cannot see it. This is not the end. This is the very beginning of something extraordinary. And you, Capricorn, are exactly the person who was meant to build it. You have two options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.